Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Shtotra Sutta Shri Srimad Abhayachana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Shtotra Sutta Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Shri Giriraj Ki Jai. Shri Govardhan Puja Mahamahotsav Ki Jai. Shri Rasikananda Prabhu Avirbhav Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Niti Namane. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today is the auspicious occasion of Sri Govardhan Puja, and this is a very important festival because it shows how much Vrindavan is important to Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. That there's so many lessons that can be learned from this festival, but mainly the main aspect of this festival is really the sweet, loving reciprocation between Krishna and his devotees. That devotees can probably move a little closer, but. So, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in Vrindavan, he is a young boy. That Krishna would, it's kind of amazing because what happens is that Nanda Maharaj is performing an Indra Yagya. He's about to conduct an Indra Yagya, which they've been doing for, they've been following that traditionally. And Krishna doesn't want Indra to be worshipped. Why does Krishna not want Indra to be worshipped? Because Indra is his devotee and became puffed up. And Krishna wants to smash his pride. But there is a difference between Krishna and Vishnu. That difference is that Vishnu is the maintainer of the universes. Ultimately, Krishna and Vishnu are the same person, but Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. And who is Krishna? Krishna is Leela Purushottam Bhagavan, that he is the enjoyer. And Krishna always makes the point that more than any other incarnation, Krishna enjoys everything that he does. He shows that he is the enjoyer. And it's difficult for people to understand. It was difficult for Indra to understand that. Indra was like, he couldn't understand why the residents of Vrindavan would listen to some young boy. Why would you listen to some young boy? Because it wasn't his worshipable Lord Narayana, and that Narayana didn't appear in that form. It's Indra as a devotee. But if Narayana had instructed the residents of Vrindavan not to do the Indra Yagya, then Indra probably wouldn't have gone against Narayana, because he knows who Narayana is. He's Narayana. But when Narayana appears, he appears with all of his opulence. He appears with all of his majesty and all of his mystic power. But Krishna is not like that. He's just some young boy talking to his father and criticizing this Indra. And that the residents of Vrindavan would stop such a yagya was on the words of some young boy, was quite bewildering for Indra. So much so that he became upset because he couldn't recognize this Krishna to be his Lord and Master. Same thing happened with Brahma. Brahma could not recognize that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is his Supreme Lord. So, in this Govardhan pastime, so I mean, here Krishna speaks to Nanda Maharaj, asking him to stop the Indra Yajna. This is chapter 24 of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, text 24. My dear father, our home is not in the cities or towns or villages. Being forest dwellers, we always live in the forest and on the hills. Therefore, may a sacrifice for the pleasure of the cows, the Brahmanas and Govardhan hill begin with all the paraphernalia collected for the worshipping Indra. Let the sacrifice be performed instead. So, here Srila Prabhupada says, yes, so what's kind of interesting, okay, I'll read it here. There's a little difference between the 10th canto and what Srila Prabhupada writes in the Krishna book. So Krishna says, let many different kinds of food be cooked, from sweet rice to vegetable soups. Many kinds of fancy cakes, both baked and fried, should be prepared, and all the available milk products should be taken for this sacrifice. The Brahmanas who are learned in the Vedic mantras must properly invoke the sacrificial fires. Then you should feed the priests with nicely prepared food and reward them with cows and other gifts. After giving appropriate food to everyone else, including such fallen souls as dogs and dog eaters, you should give grass to the cows and then present your respectful offerings to Govardhan hill. After everyone is eaten to his satisfaction, you should all dress and decorate yourselves handsomely, smear your bodies with sandalwood paste, and then circumambulate the cows, the Brahmanas, the sacrificial fires, and Govardhan hill. This is my idea, O father, and you may carry it out if it appeals to you. Such a sacrifice will be very dear to the cows and the Brahmanas and Govardhan hill, and also to me. Shukadeva Goswami said, Lord Krishna, who is himself powerful time, desired to destroy the false pride of Lord Indra. When Narada and other senior men of Vrindavan heard Sri Krishna's statement, they accepted his words as proper. According to Krishna book, little variation here. Srila Prabhupada says, after hearing this statement by Krishna, Nanda Maharaj replied, my dear boy, since you are asking, I shall arrange for a separate sacrifice for the local Brahmanas and Govardhan hill. But for the present, let me execute the sacrifice known as Indra Yajna. So in the Bhagavatam, there is no description that Nanda Maharaj asked for a separate yajna. But Srila Prabhupada says it, so which means that it's true, both are true. Sometimes Nanda Maharaj readily accepted, another time he put little opposition, just a little bit. Quite weak opposition, but opposition nevertheless. And then here it says that the cowherd men then inquired from Krishna how he wanted the yajna to be performed. Krishna gave the following direction. Prepare very nice foods of all descriptions from the grain and ghee collected for the yajna. Prepare rice, dal, then halava, pakora, puri, and all kinds of milk preparations such as sweet rice, rabri, sweet ball, sandesh, rasgulla, and laddu. And invite the learned Brahmanas who can chant the Vedic hymns and offer oblation to the fire. The Brahmanas should be given all kinds of grain in charity, then decorate all the cows and feed them well. After performing this, give money in charity to the Brahmanas. As far as the lower animals are concerned, such as the dogs and the lower grades of people, such as the Chandalas or the fifth class men, who are considered untouchable, they may also be given sumptuous prasadam. After nice grasses have been given to the cow, the sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja may immediately begin. This sacrifice will very much satisfy me. So, here in this Krishna book, Krishna doesn't state to Nanda Maharaj, this is my idea of father and you may carry it out if it appeals to you. In Krishna book, Krishna just tells Nanda Maharaj, this is what you have to do. And when Nanda Maharaj says, maybe I can do one yajna for Indra and one yajna for Govardhan Puja, Krishna says, no, you only do this. So, in Krishna book, Krishna doesn't really give any choice. But in the Bhagavatam, he gives a little, transcendental, what you can call variegatedness. That, but ultimately, we do see that it says Nanda Maharaj finally relented. So the residents of Vrindavan did accept to Krishna's proposal, which is quite amazing. Why would grown-up men accept the proposal of a young child? Because it's Krishna. And that is the surrender of the Vrajavasis, that they will just do anything that pleases Krishna. They really don't have any other, there is not much philosophical thought going on there. Oh, what if we did this? Is this okay? Nothing. And here's the amazing thing. If you look at the pastime, skipping through a little bit. Prabhupada writes in Krishna book that the sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja is observed in the Krishna consciousness movement. Lord Chaitanya has recommended that since Krishna is worshipable, so his land, Vrindavan and Govardhan hill is also worshipable. To confirm the statement, Lord Krishna says that Govardhan Puja is as good as worship of him. From that day onwards, Govardhan Puja has been going on and is known as Annakut. In all the temples of Vrindavan or outside of Vrindavan, huge quantities of food are prepared in the ceremony and are very sumptuously distributed to the general population. Sometimes the food is thrown to the crowds. They collect it, they enjoy by collecting it off the ground. From this we can understand that prasadam offered to Krishna never becomes polluted or contaminated, even if it's thrown on the ground. The people therefore collect it and eat it with great satisfaction. So then, Srila Prabhupada writes that according to the instructions of Lord Krishna, Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men called in learned brahmanas and began to worship Govardhan hill by chanting Vedic hymns and offering prasadam. That's another amazing thing, that the brahmanas listened to what a child in Vrindavan said they should do. There is no evidence of such worship happening before this. But the brahmanas also listened, because there are brahmanas in Vrindavan. One of them is Krishna's cowherd friend, Madhu Mangal. He comes from a Brahmin family. He's a Brahmana. So there are Brahmanas, and that we will see later also. Another interesting thing that we see is that, at least according to this way in which it's described in the Bhagavatam and Krishna book, first the residents of Vrindavan make all the bhoga, and they offer it to Govardhan, and then they distribute it to the brahmanas, they distribute it to the other people, they themselves also partake of it, and then they feed fresh grass to the cows. Then they dress luxuriantly, then they circumambulate the hill. Little different to what we do now. It's still Govardhan Puja, but we don't circumambulate after we take prasadam. We do it before we've taken prasadam, along with the prasadam itself. But anyways, that's again transcendental variety. That's all. Just like how in one place Nanda Maharaj refuses a little bit, puts a little opposition, but in the Bhagavatam he gives no opposition. Immediately he accepts. So so then going down here, we can see that they arranged for the brahmanas to recite the auspicious Vedic mantras, and using the paraphernalia that had been intended for Indra's sacrifice, they presented the offerings to Govardhan hill and the brahmana with reverential respect. They also gave grass to the cows. Then placing the cows, bulls and calves in front of them, they circumambulated Govardhan. As the beautiful ornamented cowherd ladies followed along, riding on wagons drawn by oxen, they sang the glories of Lord Krishna, and their songs mingled with the brahmanas' chanting of benedictions. This, along with the relocation of the Vrajavasis from Gokul to Vrindavan, is perhaps the only two places where you hear of oxen or bull in like Krishna's pastimes. Well, of course, there's one demon. That's another thing. But apart from him, who's that demon? Arishtasura. Huh? No, I'm seeing in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, that's pretty much it. You don't hear so much about bulls otherwise. Here it's mentioned. Here it said cows, bulls, and calves. And then you have this ox cart. So the ladies, what are they? The elderly ladies, they sit on the cart, and then the cart's doing parikrama. It's a very beautiful scene if you think about it. It's a very colorful, beautiful scene. If you've been to India, and sometimes you see in temples all the ladies gather together, and then they sing, and they really get into it, and it's quite nice. They sit in a circle, and they sing in front of the deity, facing the deity, and then they sing. And Srila Prabhupada encouraged this even at the Juhu temple, even for non-devotees to come and sing songs to Krishna. He said, yes, for the deity, yes, they should be encouraged. It's just at aratis that we have specific standards, but at other times, people are encouraged to come and show some devotion to the deity. So it's a very beautiful scene, especially I was noticing this a lot in Rajasthan. They have this very strong culture, and they really get into it. They sing and they're simple ladies, and they dance and they sing, and this in their own circle. It's all, you can clearly see that it's only women there. The men don't go and sit there or like that. The men they don't go close like that. It's quite beautiful culture. So then Krishna assumed an unprecedented huge form to instill faith in the Govardhan men, declaring, I am Govardhan mountain. He ate the abundant offerings. So Prabhupada writes here that he says, the form of Krishna who began to eat the offerings was separately constituted, and Krishna himself, along with the other inhabitants of Vrindavan, offered obeisances to the deity as well as Govardhan hill. So from this we can understand that Giriraj Govardhan is actually a form of Krishna. He is Krishna himself, but then he's also Krishna's servant. The famous verse that the gopis recite, Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the king of all hills, Govardhan hill, the source of enjoyment for the senses, land and cows. He is a servant of Krishna and Krishna himself. How to understand that? Balaram. It's like Balaram. Balaram is also servant of Krishna and Krishna himself. Who is Balaram called? What is he called? There's a description that Srila Prabhupada gives of him. Krishna, Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. So Giriraj is also like that. He is, and Bhakti Vikas Maharaj explains how that Giriraj, he's such a great servant of Krishna. The devotees of Krishna, they don't like to go above Krishna. But Giriraj went above Krishna because Krishna had to lift him up. When he had to become an umbrella, he had to be on top of Krishna's head. Unimaginable for devotees. But Giriraj took that service because he's such a great devotee. Oh, this is what Krishna wants? Fine. And so then Krishna says, together with the people of Raj, the Lord bowed down to this form of Govardhan hill, and thus in effect offering obeisances to himself, he says, just see how the hill has appeared in person and bestowed mercy upon us. So Giriraj, Govardhan he's very important in Vrindavan pastimes. In some of these songs that we sang today, the Pratama Govardhan Ashtakam, right? Pratama Govardhan Ashtakam. So there, if you read the description, today we were reading, it said that, O hill that fills all directions with the most wonderful splendor, O Govardhan, please fulfill my desires. O hill, with your palatial caves and clouds that are moon's friends, pleases the Supreme Personality of God. O hill, the water of whose swiftly flowing streams is the color of lapis lazuli. Govardhan was a massive hill. He was a mountain. It's called Giri. It's also known as mountain. So it was a big mountain. Govardhan hill was very big, and it had streams in it. You have to be a sizable mountain to have streams on it. You have to have caves. And then it says here, whose peaks are splendid with mineral colors, washed with love and suitable to decorate the Supreme Lord. So this you can see in mountains. You will see that there's different colors. There these minerals have different colors, different shades of red. Sometimes you will even find exotic colors like purple and other kinds of shades of brown and green, and you'll see all these different colors. And these minerals are traditionally used to decorate, put markings on one's body and faces and colors. And in this you can see in deity worship, if you look at, say, Radha Shyama Sundar or Radha Madhav, you can see how they decorate very intricately with different colors. And so Krishna used to wear all these different colors, and all of those colors used to come from Govardhan. And one nice description that is given here, okay, this is in the Dvitiya Govardhanashtakam. So you sang Pratama Govardhanashtakam. There is a Dvitiya Govardhanashtakam. And there, Rupa Goswami writes, when Indra frightened him, Parvati's elder brother, Mount Mainaka, remembering the strength of family ties, hurriedly took shelter of the ocean. Does this ring a bell? Where? Very good. Very good. What exactly happens?
So, Hanuman jumps across, like in the middle of the ocean. So he meets this Mount Mayaka, which is one of the only mountains that still has wings. Yeah, and Mayaka says that, hey, you can rest on me for like a week.
Correct. Mainaka, because he's a pious mountain. He's not an impious mountain. And because of that, he wanted to serve Hanuman, because Hanuman was a devotee of Lord Ramachandra. And he was like, oh, let me serve him. And who is this Mainaka? He is the elder brother of Govardhan hill. Govardhan is younger brother of Mainaka. That Mainaka who tried to serve Lord Ramachandra. But it said that, see, why was he scared of Indra? Because he had wings. Indra was cutting down the wings. And so Mainaka goes take shelter of the ocean. But here is his younger brother who stood up to Indra. Who said, we'll see what you can do. So that's, it's quite amazing. Huh? So Rupa Goswami is revealing that. Powerful Govardhan hill, however, was able to easily remove Indra's stubborn pride. He did, forget about running away from Indra. Govardhan cut Indra's pride. Indra was going around trying to cut the wings of mountains. Govardhan so powerful that he cut Indra's pride. That's how powerful Govardhan is. So why? Because he's Krishna's devotee. So Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, actually Srila Prabhupada, in his purport to Jayarada Madhava, writes, our Krishna consciousness movement is how to become one of the Gopi Janas. Then Krishna will save us from any danger, even by lifting a hill or a mountain. So this is the mood of the Gopi Janas. That if you see, you look at the torment that the Brajavasis had to go through in chapter 25. Right? So here, Indra becomes upset, and even the clouds are up. They're scared, and they're saying that. Actually, Prabhupada says that here. Where is that? When King Indra ordered the Samvartaka companion clouds to go to Vrindavan, the clouds were afraid of doing this mischief. But Indra assured them, you go ahead and I will also go, riding on my elephant, accompanied by great storms. So Indra didn't just send some clouds to destroy. He was personally there to see that the destruction was complete. And that is who Govardhan faced. So it wasn't just Indra's energy or his power, but it was Indra himself. And Indra says here, I shall apply all my strength to punishing the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So as it said here in the translation, the powerful wind gods decimate the cowherd village of Nanda Maharaj. And how did he want to decimate the village? He wanted to kill all the cows. That's what he wanted to do. He literally wanted to kill all the cows. Srila Prabhupada, let's see if I can find that. Maybe it's here. Okay, well, let's go through the description. On Indra's order, the clouds of universal destruction, released untimely from their bonds, went to the cowherd pastures of Nanda Maharaj. There they began to torment the inhabitants by powerfully pouring down torrents of rain upon them. Propelled by the fearsome wind gods, the cloud blazed with lightning bolts and roared with thunder as they hurled down hailstones. So it wasn't just rain, it was hail. Sometimes this hail, they can be the size of like baseballs, this big. And you know, if it hits you hard enough, you can knock you cold. As the clouds released torrents of rain as thick as massive columns, so the way it was, as Srila Prabhupada also writes here, by pouring water as thick as pillars. So it wasn't drops. It was literally columns, not sheets, columns of rain that were just, it was continuous. Sometimes they call that, in the US, sometimes they call this kind of rain, especially in the Northwest, they call it an atmospheric river. There's a description in meteorology, they use this as an atmospheric river. Basically, it feels that a river is going up and fell down on the earth. You know, that's how it feels when those kind of clouds go down. It happens more in the Northwest, in the Northwest, in this Seattle, Portland, there, in that area. So the earth was submerged in the flood, and the high ground could no longer be distinguished from the low. The cows and other animals, shivering from the excessive rain and wind, and the cowherd men and ladies, pained by the cold, all approached Lord Govinda for shelter. Trembling from the distress brought about by severe rainfall, and trying to cover their heads and calves with their own bodies, the cows approached the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada describes that very beautifully. The cows, being much aggrieved from heavy rain, bowed down their heads, and taking their calves underneath their body, they approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead to take shelter of his lotus feet. Such a beautiful, vivid description of how the cows are aggrieved and trying to protect their calves and looking at Krishna's feet for shelter. At that time, the cowherd men and women addressed the Lord, Krishna, Krishna, O most fortunate one, please deliver the cows from the wrath of Indra. O Lord, you are so affectionate to your devotees, please save us also. Very interesting to note that the residents of Vrindavan realized that this was the wrath of Indra. It wasn't that they didn't just realize, they didn't know that it was the wrath of Indra, but they don't blame the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't say, what the heck, we listened to you, and look what happened to us. We should have worshipped the demigod anyways. No. Krishna's devotees never blame Krishna. Tattenu kampam susamikshmano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vabubir vidadan namaste. Vidadan namaste. They always offer obeisances to Krishna. Jivete yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. And daya bhak, they become rightfully heirs of Krishna's mercy. Rightful heirs of Krishna's mercy because of this attitude that they have. They don't blame Krishna for it. So the Vrajavasis, they never blame Krishna for it because they cannot. Their only duty in life is to serve and please Krishna. And if because of pleasing Krishna they had to go through all this torment and cold, so be it. And who will they approach when it becomes too much? They will approach Krishna. They won't blame him. They say, we need your protection. We need your mercy to continue on. And Krishna will protect. And this is the great pastime that sometimes in our service to the Supreme Lord, in service to Lord Chaitanya, service to our acharyas, sometimes we may be faced with a lot of difficulty, we may be faced with a lot of torment, and sometimes some dangerous situations that we don't really know how we would overcome ourselves. The Vrajavasis, they had no idea how they would overcome this problem. They didn't have a clue. But They approached Krishna because they followed Krishna and they took shelter of Krishna, and now it was Krishna's problem. How to make the miracle happen? Who could have ever thought that Krishna would lift Govardhan hill? It's so amazing. What he does, Krishna says, so he says, because we stopped to see, Indra has caused unusually fierce and unseasonable rain, together with terrible winds and hail. By my mystic power, I will completely counteract this disturbance caused by Indra. Demigods like Indra are proud of their opulence, and out of foolishness, they falsely consider themselves the Lord of the universe. I will now destroy such ignorance. So then, so he says, I must therefore protect the cowherd community by my transcendental potency, for I am their shelter, I am their master, and indeed they are my own family. After all, I have taken a vow to protect my devotees. Having said this, Lord Krishna, who is Vishnu himself, picked up Govardhan hill with one hand and held it aloft, as easily as a child holds up a mushroom. The Lord then addressed the cowherd community, O mother, O father, O residents of Raj, if you wish, you may now come under this hill with your cows. You should have no fear that this mountain will fall from my hand. And don't be afraid of the wind and rain, for your deliverance from these afflictions has already been arranged. Their minds thus pacified by Lord Krishna, they all entered beneath the hill, where they found ample room for themselves and all their cows, wagons, servants, and priests, and for all the other members of the community as well. So that's a large community that had to take shelter under Govardhan hill. And how did everybody fit inside Govardhan hill? That's again Krishna's transcendental potency. Krishna's amazing, inconceivable pastime expands Govardhan hill to fit everybody in. And note here that they have cows, wagons, servants, and priests. So there's the 4 castes there. You have, no, not the 4, you have 3 at least. You have the Brahmanas, you have the Shudras, and you have the Vaishyas. So Brahmanas were part of the Vrindavan community. And this is Vraj. This is Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada wanted to create this kind of atmosphere where devotees are able to take full shelter of Krishna. How do we take full shelter of Krishna? Krishnarte Khila Cheshta. That Krishna Arte Akhila Cheshta. That when one performs everything for the pleasure of Krishna, Krishna will take care of the rest. And that is really the key to us surviving. Otherwise, it's very difficult. What do you do? What do you not do? What do you do? No, you just try our best to please Guru and Krishna. And by doing so, it's not that we will not face any problems. The Vrajavasis faced problems. But Krishna protects them. How did he protect them? It's so nice here. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments. So, Lord Krishna, forgetting hunger and thirst, putting aside all considerations of personal pleasure, stood there holding up the hill for 7 days, as the people of Vraj gazed upon him. And then it said, according to Vishnu Purana, Lord Krishna held up the mountain while his praises were chanted by the residents of Vraj, all of whom now had the opportunity to dwell together with him, who glanced at him with joyful and amazed eyes. Thus, the cowherd men and women were all elated, and out of loving affection, they opened their eyes wide. By continually drinking the nectar of the beauty and sweetness of Sri Krishna, the residents of Vrindavan felt no hunger, thirst, or fatigue. And Lord Krishna, by seeing their beautiful forms, also forgot about eating, drinking, and sleeping. So, the residents of Vrindavan forgot about eating, sleeping, and drinking. How? By looking at Krishna. How did Krishna forget eating, sleeping, and drinking? By looking at the residents of Vrindavan. It's quite amazing that the Supreme Lord bestowed upon his devotees the same potency of his that he possesses to eradicate such basic material needs, such as hunger, thirst, and sleep, and things like that. That, of course, Krishna can do that for a devotee because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't have, he has no hunger, he has no thirst, he has no sleep. He doesn't have these material things. If at all he has hunger, if at all he has sleep, it's all Yoga Maya. They're Yoga Nidra. So there's Yoga Nidra, but it's not Nidra. It's Yoga Nidra. But Krishna felt the same thing by looking upon his devotee. It's quite amazing. It's means that's how much Krishna considered his devotees to be very close to himself, that he doesn't feel ashamed, that he looks at his devotees and he gets the same benediction that he gives to his devotees. Krishna doesn't feel like that. He puts his because for him, his devotees are more dear than his own self. This also he has stated in Shastra. So then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that 7 days of continuous rain from the Samvartaka clouds failed to flood the district of Mathura because the Supreme Lord, simply by his potency, immediately dried up the water as it fell to the ground. So as the water fell, immediately it dried, so it never flooded. It wasn't like there was a little island of dryness under Govardhan hill and there was maybe 20 feet of water surrounding it or something. It wasn't like that. There was just no water. Indra was trying. I mean, why? Because that would be so frustrating for Indra. He's putting all this water, pouring down as much water as possible that inundates the entire material universe, destroys the material universe at the time of devastation. And those clouds are not able to wet the land of Mathura. This is Supreme Lord's great potency. Thus, Krishna's lifting of Govardhan is full of fascinating details. So, another thing to note is that the residents of Vrindavan, they're always in the mood of service to Krishna. That's all they think about. They didn't think over there, there was not much of a philosophical debate. Even standing under Govardhan hill, Srila Prabhupada also reveals to us through the from the commentaries of the previous acharyas also, that when Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, the other cowherd men were thinking, oh, Krishna's hand is going to pain, let's also hold up the hill. And then they also hold up. They're always thinking of service. They're not thinking, this is it's not, they want to serve Krishna, that's it. Why? Because they don't get mental. Right? They don't get mental with all kinds of philosophical and abstruse, all kinds of stupid things that run in there. No, it's just about serving Krishna. What's required for serving Krishna right now? But because they are purified, they don't have other material desires, immediately they are inspired to serve Krishna. And they serve Krishna like this. I mean, we are unaware, but we can understand that the residents of Vrindavan, 7 days, it's not boring. It's not boring under Govardhan. What is that? You just stare at each other like, what's that? Doesn't sound like it's very exciting, 7 days. As Acharyas described, there are full of fascinating details that we don't know much about. But there would be entire pastimes that would be happening there that we can't even imagine. Krishna ultimately, he fulfilled the desire. What did he fulfill? He fulfilled the desire of the Vrajavasis that they wanted to be with him day in and day out, without a moment of separation. And how great was that? Krishna didn't even let them, nobody slept even. They could have gone under the hill and taken a nap. No, they didn't do that. So, why do they want to spend time with Krishna? They're not like the dhyana avastita tad gatena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. No, not that type of yogis. That the yogis who meditate upon Krishna as the four-handed Paramatma form within the heart, they just want to see Krishna. No, the residents of Vrindavan are not. They are full of rasa, they are full of mellows of devotional service. Those mellows would have continued, and the purpose of them wanting to spend time with Krishna was to engage those devotional mellows in reciprocation with him. So this is Krishna consciousness, and this is the movement that Srila Prabhupada came to give us. It is a wonderful opportunity for us to engage in service, and this is why Govardhan Puja is such an important festival for us, because it shows that all one needs to do is follow Krishna. As Srila Prabhupada says, our Krishna consciousness is how to become one of the Gopi Jana. And Prabhupada is commenting this on Jayarada Madhava because that's the verse. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. So you become Gopi Jana, then he is Vallabha. Vallabha is what? What does Vallabha mean? Vallabha is dear. Vallabha also means protector. Vallabha means beloved, yes, and Vallabha also signifies protector. So Gopi Jana Vallabha, he protects. He is protector of all the residents of Vrindavan, of Gopi Jana. And how is he protecting? Girivaradhari. Just see, like he lifted the Govardhan hill. He will even lift a hill or mountain to protect the residents of Vrindavan just because they listen to him. So, and for us, our process begins by following Krishna, by what he says in Bhagavad Gita. This is Krishna Katha, those are instructions of Krishna to us. That's where we start. Without following the instructions of Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, then followed by Srimad Bhagavatam and other things, we cannot actually get into the same mood of surrender. But that's how it leads us. Srila Prabhupada has given us Bhagavad Gita, then you have Srimad Bhagavatam, the first 9 cantos, then 10th canto. And then that mood of surrender is taken up by Lord Chaitanya. And then we become his instruments in spreading this mercy and giving this opportunity to others. Thereby, we become recipients of that mercy. So, anyways, I'll stop here. It's 7:15. So, today is also the divine transcendental appearance of Sri Rasikananda Prabhu. It's a lot to discuss and we don't have so much time. So, those who want to know about Rasikananda Prabhu, there's a wonderful book named Sri Rasikananda by Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. Wonderful book. If you haven't read it, please read it. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Shri Govardhan Puja Mahamahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Rasikananda Prabhu ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I have a reading session at 7:30. So. Lights off. Okay, start. They'll arrange the mic, they said, and start.